Hey, my name is Tristan Williams, and I'm here to talk to you today about career passion for yourself or for the team that you may lead. Now, it's not just talking about making enough money or, being really good at what you do. I don't mean that kind of career passion. I'm actually talking about a feeling of enthusiasm where you anticipate going to work on Monday morning just like you look forward to Friday evening. This is the kind of passion that I'm talking about. And I know it's kind of strange to think about it that way, but it's actually a personal mission of mine to equip and inspire a generation to be connected and passionate about what they do, to where Monday morning is just as fun as Friday evening. And if you're a leader over your organization or over a team, or even just being a leader of yourself and being aware of the influence that you have in other people's lives, you know that there's so much work to be done for people to actually look at Monday morning this way. The Gallup research has been produced year in and year out, and it's consistent. Around 70% of the American workers are disengaged in the workplace, which is leaving a really small, staggering 30% of people that are actually showing up on a day-to-day basis because they're passionate about what they do and they actually love it. This 70% problem is a big one, and it's costing America $350 billion every year. Woo! That's a lot of money. But it doesn't have to be that way. This is something that can be solved. Now, let's talk about that problem on a more micro level. If you have a team of 20 people, disengagement will cost you around $51,000 if they have an average salary of $50,000 a year. So just throw away one person. Their productivity doesn't matter on average because disengagement is a real thing. And that's just counting the 13% of actively disengaged workers. That's not even counting the 50% who are just showing up on a day-to-day basis and are doing enough so they don't get pulled into their supervisor's office. This is indeed a huge problem, and we as leaders have to do something to solve it. And these are the kinds of solutions that I'm bringing in my keynote talks and in my workshops when I get a chance to work with you and or the team members of your organization on a deeper level. We're able to dive into your specific context and be able to get deeper into some of these strategies of creating a highly engaged and a high-performing culture. I'm also able to talk about what it looks like to build an organization that is optimized for high performance and high engagement. Now, if you want to learn more about what it takes to work with me to create some of these solutions in your life or your organization, let's go ahead and click that button below and you can learn more information. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and dive into some strategies that you can implement right now. So let's take a little trip into our imagination for a moment. Let's imagine a perfect workplace. Let's imagine a world where every team member is passionate about their job. Every team member shows up ready to go, takes initiative for the solutions that they need, and they're problem solving. They are inspiring and helping other coworkers. Productivity is high, turnover is low. Wouldn't that be a world? Sadly, it's not the world that we live in, but we can work our way there. Some organizations actually enjoy a 70% engagement rate because they are implementing some of the strategies that I'm going to show with you today. And one of the reasons that a lot of leaders and organizations are failing is because their strategies are just outdated and ineffective. Most leaders are using, a combination of the carrot and the stick. The carrot is, perks or more money, aka lazy leadership. We've all heard of the person who is fed up and they want something different and they give their 2-week notice. And the first response is, well, how much more money do you want? Let us keep you. What is it that we have to pay you to keep you here so we don't have to find someone else? And the other side of that is the stick, using your authority or using, fear or scarcity to manipulate people to doing what you want them to do just because you're the boss and you can tell them what to do. Obviously these strategies are not helping because we still have a $350 billion problem on our hands. Recently, a research study was done at Facebook, and it asked workers, how much money would it take for you to leave your current position? And the answer was $1,000. That's it. $1,000. To be at one of the most innovative organizations in the history of the world, it doesn't take much. And that answer represents how 50% of the workforce feels. If something better or more convenient, closer to home, were to come about, there's nothing tying them to their current position in organization to where they're turning away opportunities. 30% of people would say, no, I'm really happy where I am. And then another 13% of people are actually looking for other jobs on the clock. I don't know that for sure. I'm not telling you people are looking for other jobs where they're working, but the 13% of people probably are doing that. Okay, so how does this problem happen? We're missing the ball on two important things. A lot of people are only focused on one. One of them is high performance. We all need ourselves and our team members to perform at a high level. We need our sales teams to bring in the numbers. We need our customer service staff to be able to satisfy frustrated, customers who are calling about, how does this thing work? Or I need a new one because the one you sent me was broken. We need engineers to produce apps that work and are, updating the software that our customers are downloading. Whatever it is, we need those things to work, because if they don't, organizations don't make money. Organizations don't make money, they go out of business. And the other thing that people, are really focused on is just engagement. How happy are people? Are they placed in the right areas? But we all know what it's like to work with that engaged person that isn't a high performer. It's a really difficult situation to see because you love this person. This is the person that comes in every meeting, they're positive, they're optimistic, and they're gregarious. Their energy is just contagious, and you love to have them around. But when you look at their performance, it isn't up to par. And we also know what it's like to have those high performers that aren't as engaged as they could be. It's apparent in the way that they carry themselves. They do the work. You can't judge or question the quality or the quantity of their output, but when you're working with them or their team members are working with them, it's really apparent that emotionally and sometimes mentally, they're elsewhere. And you know that you aren't getting the best of the best out of this person. Now, what I like to do is to create a perfect marriage of the two. And before I tell you what that marriage is, I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm actually talking to you on this topic. Is because I understand what it's like to be in all of those places. Now, at an earlier place in my career, I was actually recruited by the first vice president of sales at Facebook to join a startup team. And shortly after joining, I was put in a position to lead a group of extreme high performers. Now, we launched a podcast that reached number 1, 2, and 3 in iTunes New and Noteworthy in education, technology, and business, respectively. And we did it maybe within like 40 days or so. It was an amazing journey, an amazing team. Serial entrepreneurs, high performers. We had clients all over the world, and it was just an amazing time. I also know what it's like to be a team member in a Fortune 650 company, one of the highest income earners there. I'm able to impact the culture, inspire my team members, and that was also a great opportunity and experience for me. And I also know what it's like to be a team member in a Fortune 10 company and be completely disengaged. Couldn't have asked for better perks, couldn't have asked for better team members, benefits, and all of those things were exactly what I needed them to be. But there was one key element that was missing that I'm going to share with you today that prevented me from being highly engaged in that organization. So what I want to do today is share 6 strategies of what I've learned over the last 7 years from studying high performance in leadership, career satisfaction, working with clients, and also from personal experience, and share these strategies to create what I like to call the intrinsically motivated high performer. The first thing that is having what I like to call identity integrity. Identity integrity. That's having consistency with three very important things. First thing is understanding your life mission. Now, if you asked some people what their life mission is, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you. You know, Purpose-Driven Life is one of the best nonfiction books of all time. You know, people are hungry to understand what their mission in life is. And mission in life doesn't necessarily have to be religious. It doesn't have to, come from out of the sky or, be spoken in, a moment of solitude. It can be something that you create yourself. But to create a intrinsically motivated high performer, that person has to know what their internal motivating system is. And that starts with having a life mission, something that, he or she is living for, that, it instructs their values, where they spend their time, what they learn, the skills they acquire, where they expend their energy. Life mission is the true north of everything that, a high performer does. And, if you don't have that life mission or, members of your team don't have that, that's a key part of why people can be disengaged from the workplace. Is because they don't have that life mission and it doesn't flow into the next part, which is the overall mission of the organization. Now, the mission of the organization isn't sometimes the mission statement itself. Sometimes it's supposed to go deeper than that. It isn't, to make the most money. It isn't to serve, our stockholders or our stakeholders or our investors. It isn't to, turn the highest profits or even be number one in the marketplace. The mission is, how do you make the lives of your customers and your clients better? That's what the mission of an organization is. Beyond the money, behind prestige and placement and power. Why do you matter outside of dollars and cents? And if you don't know that as a leader, then it's really hard for other people to understand that. And a lot of times it's written on paper, but it may not be lived out with the way that organization conducts business. And even if it is, that has to flow down to every single level of your organization. And that's why we talk about the third place of identity integrity is having your life mission and the overall mission of your organization flow into your daily tasks and responsibilities. And this is key. This is why a lot of people feel disconnected. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work for a nonprofit or you have to do, ministry work or, you have to even be client or customer facing. You can be that engineer, that accountant, that graphic designer, that worker in the factory and be connected to all of those things. But it takes intentionality, and this is the way to do it. No matter what your role or position is, that team member has to understand, you have to understand that without that role, the whole organization as a whole could not function. Think about my right hand. You chop my right hand off, then my body still goes on, but it's not as strong as what it would be with the presence of this right hand. This right hand picks up things. It can throw things. It can help me lift things, or it can help me, communicate with my hands. It can do a variety of different things. But the hand itself isn't that big. It doesn't weigh that much. And its presence may not be felt at all times. And that's how a lot of team members feel on their day-to-day responsibilities. They don't feel that they matter. They don't feel that their little position is connected to the overall vastness of the organization. And as leaders, that's what we have to be able to help them understand. We ourselves have to understand what our role and what our piece contributes to the overall organization and how that flows from our overall life mission, what we decide to be about, right down to, the daily spreadsheets that we're creating. Every little single thing matters. Everything has value. Everything has purpose. And we as leaders have to be able to exhibit and demonstrate that we are living with purpose and with clarity and with identity and integrity, so that our team members have the permission to do so as well. Now, there are 6 strategies, and identity integrity is number 1. We don't fully have time to go through all 6 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with the other 5 really quickly, but I'm also going to encourage you that if you don't have identity integrity in your life, or that other members of your organization are struggling with connecting what they do on a day-to-day basis to their own life mission and to the mission of the organization, let's talk about working together on a deeper level so that we can solve this disengagement problem. So here are the other 5 strategies of creating a intrinsically motivated high performer. Number 2, you want to position yourself to do more of what you do best. You want to have energizing activities filling your day. And it isn't just what you like to do, but there are certain ways to find out what energizes you and what demotivates you. And we want to structure our day to do more of those activities and place them at certain parts of the day. You also want to create a compelling vision for the future while coupling that with a realistic strategy for execution. We all know what it's like to think about something grandiose, but if we don't have a plan of action, then our subconscious mind automatically writes it off as another thing that we're just thinking about. Number 4, we want to incentivize success habits. We want to figure out what are the things that are, immense needle movers, and figure out ways to incentivize those habits by understanding the 3 parts of the brain and how we're wired, and hacking our brain system to reward more of those actions that move us forward. We want to also, number 5, increase our influence with customers, with our team members, with other members in the organization. And number 6, we want to create an accountability dream team. Now, sometimes it looks like getting the right people on the bus in the organization or on the team, or sometimes it's getting certain people in our lives. And sometimes they could be a mentor or a mentee, or certain people that are peers or colleagues that can help us get to the next level. It has been an extreme pleasure and a privilege to be here with you. And we as leaders have to do something about this problem. It isn't going away. It's only costing us money, and it's costing us joy, productivity, and the feeling that we're truly connected to what we love doing on a day-to-day basis. Help me solve my mission of helping everyone love a Monday just like they do a Friday. Click below this video to learn more about how we can work together to solve this $350 billion problem and make the lives of 70% of people that much better.